going on there. Sgraffito. All right.
No, you should use your voice.
You can't. Can you roll it? Huh?
No,
You said snake voice.
Yeah.
Snake voice. Yeah. So 2 simple steps: coat your paper with crayon, scratch through. The second layer is either a tempera paint or oil pastel. All right. You could do something like creating a name design, where you cover the circle with heavy crayon in any colors you want. Cover the crayon completely with a dark oil pastel. Rub it in lightly with a finger. I'm going to have you guys do a little bit of tempera too today, just so you can see what that looks like. And then scratch through those using lines. There's a big emphasis in this lesson plan on lines. There's some books that I use. There's my little art song about lines you guys sang with me last week. Make sure your name's a big part of your design. So here's some former student examples where they were just kind of exploring again.
This place is a zoo.
This place is a zoo. So you can see this is an example of an uncontrolled sgraffito. Okay, and you can know that because you got these multicolored lines through everything that they scratched. All right, I hope I have an example of a controlled one. This is again another uncontrolled sgraffito. You can see that it has these wide stripes going diagonally on the 2 on the right here, the one with Bolt and the one with Monsters versus Alien. Who's that? Bob, I think.
I didn't know what it was.
So,
I kind of thought it was an octopus.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No,
He's the gelatinous mass.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we got that. Those are both really nicely done. The one here on the left is an uncontrolled sgraffito.
What do you mean when you say uncontrolled?
Uncontrolled means the way in which you apply the crayon to the paper for step 1 was not adhered to when you scratch through it. So if I wanted this, say for example, this little, egg yolk sun thing to come through as my finished design, and when I scratch through the center, I'm being very careful to only scratch whatever pattern I want that circle to be in out, and then I'm doing a different pattern out here. I'm only scratching right up to the edge. That's controlled sgraffito. Okay. You use a tracing paper. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Okay. I got a couple like sort of semi-pre-done steps here. These are uncontrolled. You can see the scratching just varies in color as you go. All right.
Ed Boy.
Do we know this character?
Yeah.
Ed and Eddie. All right.
The con artist.
Yeah. He's always after making $1 million to get jawbreakers.
All uncontrolled, just doodles. Man, I might not have a. Shucks. I don't have a controlled example. Okay, but you'll see what one looks like when we get done with this process. Here. Let's see. All right. So what we want to do with this is we want to come up with our design. If you want to sketch out in pencil, that's perfectly fine. Get one of these small pieces of paper. You guys want to get one and pass it to the person next to you there. And then try a couple of different kinds of crayons, okay? These are your regular, standard, tried and true Crayola crayons. Best product on the planet.
Not Rosemont.
Do not go with the Rose Mont. Is that what you called it?
Yeah, Rose. What is it?
It's Rose Art.
Oh, Rose Art.
Rose Art.
It's called Rose Art. It's really bad stuff.
Rose Art.
It really is.
That's not sharpened.
Also, try these 2 products. Will you hand me that one? One of those multicultural crayons? Yes, they have a multicultural crayon pack. Okay, so instead of flesh, it's tan. For different colors of flesh, there's a sepia. Okay. Yeah, we've come a long way. There's a peach.
I want to know who put this one in here because that is not a
Mahogany.
flesh tone.
Yeah, like some people might look
Lights of
that
our
white,
eyes.
right? Okay.
Our teeth.
Well, I
Not
mean,
really
this
white.
isn't necessarily a flesh tone.
Okay.
either.
Then grab me one of those fabric crayon ones too.
We're just drawing anything, any type of pattern.
Excellent. So we got fabric crayon. Yeah, any kind of pattern, any kind of image you want. Okay, fabric crayons.
I don't understand. What's the difference between the blue fabric crayon and the regular fabric crayon?
These will be a little bit softer, a little bit easier for you to put a little bit more wax onto the paper. I would just want you to try a little bit of each and just see how it
Oh,
works.
same
A, with how it goes down initially, and then
Maybe
B,
John does.
how you scratch through it.
I don't know.
I don't know what to do.
Again, these don't have to be masterpieces, guys. We're just thinking about
You're a master.
having some fun, okay?
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, one more
entertaining.
kind, guys. Somebody hand me one of those black wrapped crayons down there. These, have you seen these, guys? These are construction paper crayons. And these are soft as well. So if you want to try putting one of those, using some of those in some spaces, make some notes if you want to, either mental notes or write it down somewhere about how they handle, both putting them on and then sgraffitoing them off as you scratch. I think that'll be a help for you. Isn't it fun to say? The construction paper crayons are really
Is
good.
this just like a pencil?
That's just a plain old pencil.
Yeah.
Yep.
Circles.
All right. So the job is to press as hard as you can with the crayon, whatever color you end up selecting. Make sure you press down as deeply and as hard as you can.
Don't break them.
Don't break them. That's right. All right, so the little tracing, just a note of explanation, the little tracing we made is to help us with the controlled sgraffito part, okay? What that does is it gives us a template to work from when we go and have now a totally black piece of paper that we can't see our design anymore. If we want to use this to control how we pull out those marks when we scratch through the black, then we're able to hold true to our design. If we're not really concerned about the design, we're just putting a bunch of random colors on, then probably best to just go uncontrolled.
I wouldn't say recently. It was when I was still in high school, but I hadn't seen it in forever. And I watched an older episode, and I was shocked that not shocked, but I was shocked, and I couldn't stop laughing because
Your crayon piece too? Okay, cool. Now, guys, the next step is to cover your crayon work with a black or a dark colored, a solid colored oil pastel, and I want you to try tempera as well. Maybe do half tempera, half oil pastel.
Oh, so could you do like a green oil pastel?
Yeah, of course. Yep. Think about what over color might contrast best with whatever colors you have in your your crayon work.
Okay.
And see, I've got one little spot here on the corner that's tempera, and it's already been dried. And then this little spot next to it is oil pastel.
Where are the oil pastels go?
Right there.
Can
I just moved so I could reach.
Did you put up on the back of your paper too? In the background, you want to go black?
Yep. Well, I mean, this is white. I
Oh, you already
colored
put
it
white
all.
on there. Okay. Cool.
And then, but then that one, since it's oil, I'm just gonna not color that one. This one.
It'll be all right. Go through it.
But you said it would scratch off. I don't want to lose the blending.
Yeah. Try it.
Because I like that it's like pink and yellow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it.
I'm a leave it.
You can't make me color it over.
Wait, we are supposed to be using these, right?
Yeah, dark color that
Okay.
contrasts well with what you have.
Oh,
And I want you to try half of it with the tempera, okay? When you apply, you know how to do the oil pastel, obviously. Just make sure you don't have any speckle marks when you're done.
what does that mean?
Like
Grace,
this.
show her.
Oh God,
These
Grace,
little-
why? I'm just kidding.
You don't want to see through.
Try to do like half oil pastel and let the other half be tempera. See, with your tempera, you want to apply this in such a way that you're getting nice, long, even strokes of color.
No texture.
This is probably a dumb question.
Go ahead.
But do you have to like let the
Oh, I broke it.
pastel like dry or like?
You don't have to let the oil pastel dry. You do have to let the tempera
Well,
dry.
because like it's like smudgy. So how do you not get it on everything?
Yeah,
It's one of
just
those
do the best
things.
you can. It's pretty messy. All right, so see what I've done there? I've put my black tempera paint on. Nice long strokes of that. Try to get it to where I don't have any brush strokes on it.
I like the feeling of oil pastels. Very smooth.
They are smooth.
Almost like paint in a stick.
Oh, and a quick note too, if you want to try this while you're in the oil pastel stage, we've got three brands of oil pastel on the table. We've got the Sanford Colorific. We've got the Sakura Crepa Junior Artist, and we've got the Crayola. So it might be worthwhile to try one of each, okay? Like a section of each makes, again, we're making notes here. Because I'd like for you to see how the different types of oil pastels handle. All right, let me get you guys back here. All right, what we're going to try with our last bit here
Gosh, Grace, always so
is
good.
show you guys how the last step goes. Okay, two things you can keep in mind. For controlled Sgraffito, which I want to encourage you to do, let's start from a controlled standpoint. You want to take your tracing paper that you made, and you want to use one of these ebony pencils on the back side of it. You guys know how to do this transferring stuff, right? On the back side, you just make a pencil mark. You can just scribble. You want to make a little bit of graphite there wherever you have elements of your design, right? Okay, so that when we put it back on our oil pastel piece and tempera piece after it's dry, we'll have some lines to transcribe from as we press in there. It'll transfer a little bit of that graphite over. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
You're kind of making like, it's the homemade carbon paper thing.
right.
You want to try to put a little bit of graphite around every line on the back side of your tracing.
Okay.
Okay, and then that'll provide us with something to use when we have dry tempera coverings.
Okay.
That'll be next class. And then, and just for the interest of time and for the demo, for our online people, we have to line up our up side of our tempera and oil pastel covered piece and the upside of our transfer paper or our tracing paper. Get the corners lined up, right? And then make some pencil marks, or maybe even pen could be helpful, so you can know which ones you've actually traced. So at least do pencil marks onto that tempera and oil pastel covering with your design. Okay, everybody follow me on that?
Mm-hmm.
Just tracing over it here. Okay.
You're pretty much just rubbing the graphite off onto the.
Yeah, exactly. Just rubbing the graphite off. I did do a couple of things on this tracing paper. I made some like little letter indications of what color is what. That's not entirely necessary. You might be able to remember. But sometimes especially if you're doing this with kids, you might want to think about doing that for them. Make some indications of what color is what in the design
Sorry.
by
I
maybe
keep kicking.
writing the letters on your tracing paper. So I got P where purple is supposed to be, O where orange is supposed to be. That might just help me with my Sgraffito method. All right, those are the only ones I actually put some graphite on. All right, now I'm going to lift that thing out. You'll have to look close to see this, but there's like a kind of a ghost image there on the surface of my tempera and oil pastel with that transferred bit of graphite. That's going to be my guide for, see this one here?
Yeah.
And then this little sort of roundish mark, this little bit right here. That's going to be my guide for how I do my scratching.
Right.
So like a circle right there, and two sort of like football shape right there. Okay. Because my tempera wasn't totally dry, see, I lifted a little bit of tempera off accidentally. That's why you guys will want to make sure your tempera is good and dry.
Yeah,
After you've done that graphite bit and transferred that design on there, you're basically just going to use some toothpicks, guys. You could also use like paper clips. You could unfold a paper clip. You could use the end of a compass, the sharp side of the compass. And if you want to see this, you just want to basically scratch through your tempera and or oil pastel wherever you have your design. See that? All right. And because we did the tracing, our controlled element is such that we'll have pretty good adherence to our original design. And I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys think about the difference between using oil pastel for the covering differs from the way that the tempera paint is used for the covering. You don't have to press hard. It's really easy to scratch that stuff off. And once you have those major compositional features scratched in, then you get to have some fun with your patterning. And because we were good with our tracing process to get the controlled element in place, we're able to really have some good control over all of the patterning that we do in there. So here's the side, this is the part that had the white. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's showing the white through the scratched tempera paint.
So if you didn't have that, then it would just stay there.
Then it would just be black. Yeah, it'd be like you're putting black tempera paint on your plain white piece of paper. And so now I can come in there and I can scratch in a bunch of little circles if I want, and that major egg shape. And all of those lines I make will be white. On the inside of that, where I have purple or other shapes, then I can alter my patterns. So I've got color in my pattern, and I've got line marks in my pattern. And all that hopefully works all together for a good design. You can get some pretty good detail in these areas of scratch. Okay.